Today, we will talk about discipline, psychology, and how to master your mind to achieve success. Have you ever promised yourself you'd change? You decided to wake up earlier, eat clean, hit the gym, read every night, no more mindless scrolling, no more excuses. This time it would be different. And for a while, it was. You stuck with it. You felt a spark of hope. But then, gradually, or maybe all at once, it fell apart. The motivation faded. The old habits crept back in. You skipped a day, then another, then stopped altogether. And once again, you were left wondering, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay disciplined? We tend to blame ourselves. We say we're lazy, weak, lacking willpower. But what if the problem isn't your willpower at all? What if the reason you can't stay disciplined is because your mind is at war with itself? Law 1. Discipline is not about willpower. Modern self-help says discipline is about grit. Push harder, hustle, dominate your inner voice. But that model assumes one thing, that you are a single, unified self. You're not. You are a collection of selves that are all at war with each other. One wants success. Another wants to self-sabotage. Another lusts after every model on social media you see. These selves all fight within your mind and cause the stress and anxiety you are feeling. The part of you that sets goals and creates routines, that's the ego. But beneath the ego, there's an entire psychological world you rarely engage with. This is the unconscious, the domain of repressed desires, forgotten memories, irrational impulses, and hidden wounds. The ego might say, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. But the unconscious might reply, no, I want to rest. I want to feel safe. I want freedom. And here's the catch. The unconscious always wins. Eventually. You can push through for a while, maybe days, weeks, or even months. But if your conscious goals don't align with the deeper unconscious psyche, self-sabotage becomes inevitable. Discipline without internal alignment isn't sustainable. It's a slow war of attrition, and eventually, you lose. Law 2, the myth of the rational self. We like to believe we're rational, logical, in control. But psychology tells a different story. Freud spoke of the id, ego, and superego, competing forces within the psyche. Jung expanded this further, revealing a world of archetypes, shadows, and hidden selves operating beneath our awareness. The point is simple. You are not a singular you. You are a plurality, a collection of conflicting desires, fears, and forgotten parts. So when you try to impose a new habit, you're not just deciding, you're initiating a negotiation or a rebellion. And most of us never even know it's happening. Law 3, the rejected self and the return of the exiled. Let's go deeper. Many of the parts of you that sabotage your discipline are not evil. They're wounded, exiled, forgotten. They were pushed away because they didn't fit the image you were told to be. Maybe you were punished for being loud, so you became quiet. Maybe you were mocked for being sensitive, so you became stoic. Maybe you were told to be strong, so you buried your weakness. These parts didn't disappear. They were repressed, sent into the unconscious, but they didn't die. They waited. And now when you try to impose discipline, when you try to fix yourself, they return. Not to ruin you, but to be seen, to be acknowledged. That late night binge, that sudden urge to skip the gym, that emotional breakdown, they are the language of the rejected self. Until you reintegrate what you've exiled, you'll remain trapped in cycles of effort and collapse. If you are enjoying what you are listening to, click like and subscribe. Law 4, persona versus self, the trap of false discipline. Carl Jung described the persona as the mask we wear to survive socially. From childhood, we learn what behaviors are accepted and which are punished. We build an identity based on approval and suppress anything that threatens it. But here's the tragedy. Many people pursue discipline as a performance. They don't actually want to wake up at 5 a.m. They want to be the kind of person who wakes up at 5 a.m. They want to be seen as successful, productive, focused. That kind of discipline is fragile because it's not rooted in authenticity. It's rooted in image. And when the pressure to maintain the mask gets too heavy, it cracks. Real discipline must emerge from the self, the full integrated being, not the social mask. When your habits reflect your true nature, discipline becomes effortless. When they reflect your ego's desire for approval, they become a burden. Law 5, the shadow, friend or foe. Jung called it the shadow, the dark half of the psyche. It holds everything you deny: your aggression, your jealousy, your insecurities, your taboo desires. And most people try to fight it. They suppress their anger, hide their envy, deny their fear. But the shadow doesn't vanish. It grows in the dark, it waits, and eventually it erupts. This eruption often looks like self-sabotage. You break your diet, you ghost your mentor, you quit your side project. You call it weakness, but it's the shadow trying to be heard. The path isn't to defeat the shadow, it's to integrate it, to understand it, to dialogue with it, to see what it's trying to protect and what it's asking you to feel. When you bring light to the shadow, its power becomes yours. Energy leaks, the cost of internal conflict. Now let's talk about energy. True discipline isn't just about routines, it's about energy management. And few things drain energy faster than internal conflict. Think of your psyche like a government, multiple voices, each with competing agendas. When those voices are at war, every decision becomes exhausting. You wake up tired, you procrastinate, you feel unmotivated, not because you're weak, but because your energy is being spent on unconscious negotiations. Until you create inner harmony, discipline will always feel like a fight. Real power comes when the different parts of you are aligned, when they stop fighting and start cooperating. Law 7, the alchemy of integration. So how do you begin? Not with a tighter schedule, not with another productivity hack, but with inner work. Start journaling, not about tasks, about emotions. Ask yourself, what part of me is resisting this habit? Why? Listen to the parts that sabotage you. What do they need? What are they afraid of? Begin shadow work, not to fix yourself, but to understand yourself. Meditate, not just to clear your mind, but to hear what it's been saying all along. The more you understand your inner landscape, the easier discipline becomes, because it stops being a battle and becomes a dialogue. Law 8, integration over domination. Let's summarize. Discipline is not domination of the self, it's integration of the self. When your ego, your unconscious, your shadow, and your authentic self are working together, discipline flows naturally. It feels like clarity, not force, like momentum, not resistance, like truth, not performance. So the next time you fail at discipline, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask, which part of me is hurting? Ask, which voice in me needs to be heard? Ask, what am I ignoring in my own soul? Because maybe the answer isn't more control. Maybe it's more compassion. To summarize everything we have learned, I give you an invitation. If this message resonates with you, if you're tired of fighting yourself, if you feel the weight of your own expectations, if you're ready to stop performing and start integrating, then it's time to go inward. Discipline begins in the psyche, not the daily schedule, in the unconscious, not the to-do list. And only by understanding ourselves can we begin to master ourselves. If you want to go deeper into Jungian psychology, self-improvement, or shadow work, comment ideas below for my next videos. And if this video spoke to something inside you, share it with someone who's fighting the same silent battle, and comment what you have learned to help those going through the same struggles you are. Until next time, remember, the path forward is inward. The strongest discipline begins within. Like, comment, and subscribe to achieve your maximum potential.